The room went silent the moment I stepped through the doors, and then, as if on cue, the laughter began. It spread like wildfire across the party, cruel and mocking. "TESTRUN, husbands here," someone sneered from the corner, their glass of champagne raised like a weapon. Another voice joined in, then another, until it was a chorus of amusement at my expense. Glasses clinked, laughter rolled through the air like thunder. My humiliation wasn't whispered behind closed doors. It was paraded in the open, served up like a toast. And then she appeared, my wife, my partner, my betrayer. Her smile was perfect, rehearsed, a painted mask that gleamed under the chandelier's light. The red dress she wore shimmered with every step, catching eyes, demanding attention. She walked straight to me, her heels clicking against the marble floor in a rhythm that sounded like a countdown. She leaned in close enough for the scent of her perfume to reach me, slipped an envelope into my hand, and then, loud enough for every single guest to hear, said, "The first job of my firm is our divorce, sign and leave." The room erupted, laughter, applause. My humiliation was complete, performed in front of investors, clients, so-called friends. She had turned my marriage into theater and cast me as the fool. But I didn't speak, I didn't break. I simply turned, walked out, and let the door close behind me. And as the noise faded, I felt something shift. The silence was no longer theirs. It was mine. And silence is where revenge begins. She thought she had broken me. She thought that envelope was the end of my story. What she didn't understand was that I never build what I don't control. I had built her dream from nothing. Every brick of that firm bore my fingerprints. I was the shadow investor, the quiet financier behind the spotlight she craved. $20 million of my money fueled her empire. The parties, the trips, the client dinners. My accounts had covered it all. I thought I was building for us, for our future. But she wasn't building a partnership. She was building an exit strategy. I was just the scaffolding she planned to discard. The betrayal hadn't come out of nowhere. I had seen the signs, the way her phone tilted away from me at dinner, the sudden late nights at the office that didn't match the calendar invites, the champagne bottles that appeared without my card swiping them but bought all the same, with my money. And then the whispers began to reach me. Cruel little jokes from her circle. "TESTRUN husband, practice round, the man you tolerate until your real life begins." The envelope was just the performance. The betrayal had been rehearsed for months, but she had forgotten one thing. Rage is noise, and noise warns your enemy. I don't rage, I calculate. On the ride home, as the city lights streaked by, I smiled. Not because I was happy, because I had clarity. By the time the car pulled into the driveway, my plan was already in motion. I sat down at my desk, logged in, and with a few keystrokes, I began to reverse the current of her entire empire. First, the party. The celebration that mocked me would unravel in real time. I canceled the payments that kept the night alive. The caterers, the band, the decorator, each clawback hit like a strike of lightning. One moment, the champagne flowed. The next, the payments bounced. The credit lines she flaunted froze mid-toast. Then, the trips. Paris in 2 weeks, gone, Cabo, Bali, Milan. Each one vanished with a click. Every reservation canceled, every itinerary erased. The future she had planned with my money evaporated in seconds. And then, finally, the artery itself, the $20 million I had poured into her firm. With the same precision I had once used to invest in her, I wired it all back into my own accounts. Not stolen, not hidden, simply reclaimed, legally, quietly, permanently. She wanted to serve me papers. I had just served her reality. Minutes after the transfer, my phone lit up. First one call, then 10, then a flood. 456 missed calls in the first hour. Her number, her partners, even her mother. Panic spread through their ranks like fire. At the party, I imagined the lights flickering, the music cutting off when the band realized payment had failed, staff walking out mid-toast, guests watching with growing discomfort as the illusion cracked. And at the center of it all, my wife, standing frozen, her perfect smile faltering as realization dawned. The empire she flaunted wasn't hers. It had always been mine, and now I had taken it back. That night, long after the calls stopped, The doorbell rang. I opened it to find her standing there. No audience now, no laughter, no spotlight, just smeared makeup, trembling hands, and a voice stripped of confidence. "You can't do this to me," she said, her words breaking apart with desperation. I studied her. Even then, she thought it was about her. She thought she still had power. "No," I said quietly, "you did this to yourself." She reached for me, pleading, trying to summon the charm that had once disarmed me. I stepped back, keeping the door between us. "You made a stage of my life," I told her. "Tonight, you learned what happens when the curtain drops." And then I closed the door. The divorce moved quickly after that. Clean, efficient, surgical. She got nothing but debts, the very same debts she had disguised as triumphs. The firm she flaunted as her own never recovered. Without my funding, it collapsed in months. The clients fled, unwilling to associate with a sinking ship. The partners scattered, each one saving themselves before the walls caved in. Her name, once rising, became a warning whispered in hallways. She went from visionary to cautionary tale in record time. And me, I didn't chase revenge with fire. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I let her burn herself out and simply took away the matches. They called me TESTRUN husband, disposable, replaceable, the man before the real story began. But they were wrong. I wasn't the test. I was the lesson, and lessons are never forgotten.